You see, when a woman desires a man, especially in a way that leads to intimacy, she rarely spells it out directly. Not because she's playing games, but because she's navigating them deeper. How she wants to be perceived. Most women have been conditioned to protect their reputation of him when they're attracted to someone. So instead of saying, "I want you," she'll speak in implications. She'll seethe power of suggestion. And if you didn't know how to listen between lanes, you'll miss it and possibly miss her altogether. It's in the way she says, "Sigh, feels safe around you," or "there's something different about you." These are in compliments for the sake of being polite. They're emotional signals. That word, "oh safe," it's heavy. It means just lowering her guard emotionally and physically. It's an unspoken invitation. A woman won't get intimate with Simono. She doesn't feel secure around. And when she says, "you're different from other guys," that's not just flattery. It's her way of saying, "I could do something with you that I wouldn't normally do with them." The truth is, women speak in layers. You have to feel the energy behind the words. You have to sense the shift in her tone when she suddenly pauses before saying, "This feels crazy." Why women rarely express desire directly and the psychology behind it. That's her wrestling between desire and dignity. That moment of hesitation isn't resistance, it's transition. She wants to move closer, but she wants you to read the sins and lead without making her spell it out and pay attention to what she doesn't. Say she might lean in, look eyes, touch your arm gently, but then say something like, "You're bad for me." Why women don't say it directly or, "I don't usually hang out this late." That isn't a warning, it's a test. A woman doesn't say that unless she's already halfway down the road of wanting more. But she needs you to show that you're grounded, that you understand the moment, and that you're not the kind of man who will judge her or make her feel like she gave in too easily. It's a paradox. She wants you to know. She wants you, but also wants you to understand why she can't just come out and say it. That's where a man's emotional intelligence shows. Can you interpret her coded messages? Can you've picked up on the look in her eyes that says, "I want this," even when her words are saying, "Maybe we should just chill." 'Cause if you can, you unlock a level of connection most men will never reach. And her rest part that separates men who get it from men who stay confused. When you act like you expect her to speak directly, or you demand clarity before you make a move, you break the entire spell. Shadowscent want to feel like she is toinishade. She wants to a signal and for you to respond with calm masculine rupacin. That's where the real respect made build in words, but in intuition, timing, and trust. So when she's shinting, when she's layering, her words with meaning, don't get lost in the literal feel, the emotion beneath. Let your actions respond to what her heart is saying, even if her mouth never says words, because the woman who wants you will speak in implications. And the top 5 phrases she'll say instead, man who understands those implications. He's the one she won't forget when a woman's desire is rising. But Shadowscent want to appear too eager. One of the ways she reveals her interest is by shifting the conversation into the present moment. She's not talking about next week, or whether you two are official, or what the future holds. Instead, her focus narrows down to light now. How she feels, what the vibe, and the connection you're both sharing in that exact space and time. This isn't by accident. She's not trying to build a relationship in that moment. She's trying to create a permission for something real to happen between you two without the pressure of consequences. So, she hints, but doesn't state directly, understanding subtle implications. Say things like, "Let's not ruin the vibe," or "Tonight just feels different." What she's doing is letting her guard down, not by asking, but by inviting you Tolian into the energy that's already there. See, a woman who's planning a relationship is thinking about compatibility, values, and alignment. But a woman who's quietly craving intimacy, she's immersed in you now. She's attuned to the music playing, the candles flickering, the silence between words. She'll talk about how the night feels, how warm it is being closer to you, how crazy it is that time flew by, and all of that. That's her way of drawing a circle around the moment, protecting it from outside judgment, expectations, or guilt. Sometimes she'll even say something that seems contradictory, like, let's not overthink this. Or, I don't want to talk about what this means. That's another being confused. It's her freeing hers from the idea that everything's be labeled deep down. She knows shat, she feels, and she's hoping you do too. What she needs is for you to be present with her, not try to analyze or force clarity. Because the truth is, when a woman wants to connect physically, the more you try to deepen at the future in that moment, the less emotionally safe she feels to explore what's naturally unfolding, and it goes deeper. Sometimes she's not even speaking with words. She'll play with your hand absent-mindedly, rest her head in your shoulder, or simply sit in silence, letting the closeness speak for her. These are not passive gestures. They're her language of trust. She's offering a moment, not a contract, not a contract, not a plan, but something raw and meaningful. And most men miss it because they're too focused on what comes after. The woman, well, wants to be with you, but doesn't want to seem too available, will live in. Now, to protect herself, she'll give her presence, her energy, and her softness, all without demanding a label. But she's watching. She's watching how you respond to the moment. Do you rush it? Do you ask for guarantees, or do you lean into it? Grounded, calm, and aware. That's the difference between the man she lets into her body and the one she body language that matches her word sleeves in the friend zone. It's not about game. It's about a presence. And the more present you are with her, the safer she feels to unfold without needing to say it out loud. Because when she wants to be close but still feel respected, she won't talk about forever. She'll talk about you right now. And if you can hold that moment with strength and stillness, you'll give her the freedom to fully surrender without regret. When a woman is feeling a strong attraction but doesn't want to open like sprace it, she often wraps her desire in something clever. She talks about themament. Why? She avoids future-focused conversation. Something playful. She uses double meanings, cheeky remarks, subtle sarcasm, and beneath that humor, thought teasing tone, she's testing something very specific. Your confidence, not just your boldness, but your ability to handle tension without fumbling, without getting awkward, without needing reassurance. It's her way of saying, B, can you read me, or will you break under pressure? You've probably heard phrases like, you're dangerous, or I should probably go home before I get in trouble, or you're trouble, aren't you? On this surface, those sound like little jokes. But a woman doesn't say that unless he's already thinking about what might happen if she stays. What she's really doing is putting out and watching to see what you do with it. She's asking without asking, do you have enough confidence to see past my words and feel what I'm actually saying? It's not about her needing clarity. It's a bother. Needing to feel safe in your certainty. Because when your ease thrown off, when you stutter, when you suddenly get nervous, she can feel that asterisk you weren't prepared for the moment. And if weren't ready, she won't be. Either her desire requires your calm, her invitation, however, hidden sisking for your grounded leadership. So, when she throws out one of those flirty, backhanded comments, she's not rejecting you. She's pulling you in. She's seeing whether you can dance with her emotionally and mentally without collapsing. When she says, well, I didn't trust guys like you, what she might mean is feeling something and it's intense, but I need to know you won't take advantage. When she says, this is how girls end up in trouble, she's not talking about danger, she's talking about desire. Her what to do when she gives the green light words are a mask, but her body language, That's where the truth lies. Now, here's catch. The wrong move is to start over, explaining yourself, or to get flustered and defensive, or worse, act shocked or overly serious. That kills tension. The right move is to smile with confidence, to hold eye contact, totally in just enough to show you're not shaken, but not so much that you push. Because when you respond with composure, she feels your strength. And when she feels your strength, she trusts her own feelings around you. Women often need toast before they trust. That's not manipulation, it's protection. She wants to know that if things go further, she'll regret it. So she uses wit. She uses innuendo. She gives you just enough to see what kind of man you really are. If you pass the test, not by talking, but by holding your frame, everything depends. Up, the energy changes. The hesitation fades. What she's realizing with those, she tests your confidence. Double meanings and emotional challenges double-edged is you handle me. Not the surface version, not the polite version. Thoughtful feminine, emotional, vulnerable, playful, powerful version. And most men fail that test. Not because they're bad guys, but because they try too hard to prove something instead of just being. So remember, when a woman plays with double meanings, she's not just flirting. She's probing your presence. She wants to let go, but only in the arms of some man who won't lose himself. And if you can stand in that moment, still ensure, without chasing, without freezing, without explaining, you'll say more than words ever could. There's ascertained subtlety women use when they're deeply attracted to a man, but don't want to seem obvious about it. It's not women. It's not always in the way they tech or what they say directly. It's in how they begin arranging the environment. They start dropping little hints about logistics that just so happen to lead to the two of being alone. It's not loud, it's not theatrical. It's calculated, smooth, and almost always wrapped in casual conversation. She might mention that her roommate is gone for the weekend. She might casually say, I live just around the corner. Or, if it gets too late, you can just crash here. On the surface, it sounds like nothing, just information. But underneath its permission, a doorman. It's a doorway, and it's her way of putting you in closer proximity without having to say, I want you to come over. A woman who's not interested won't offer that kind of access. She'll keep barriers between you. Physical, emotional, even logistical. But the one who's warming up to you, who's feeling a connection and starting to imagine what it could feel like to be alone with you. She starts clearing a path without explicitizing it. Not because she's shy, but because she doesn't want to look like she's pushing for something. She's creating the opportunity, but she wants you to be the one who takes the next step. And here's the truth. It's not about the how to avoid misreading the situation place. It's about the ad frame when she mentions she has wine at home or the other place has a great view. She's not just selling the idea of a location. She's inviting you into her space emotionally. And literally, she's signaling comfort. She's quietly saying, I feel safe enough with you to let this unfold privately. That's a big deal for a woman, because that's when she becomes vulnerable. Sometimes she'll present it as a last-minute, harmless choice. It's too late to Uber now, or you might as well stay and avoid the traffic. But again, for its women, that's not logistics. That's desire in disguise. She's looking to see whether you'll read the room, whether she mentions logistics, the setup for privacy and proximity. You'll sense the door should just left open, and whether you have the confidence to walk through it without needing everything spelled out. But there's the thing. How you handle thought invitation determines everything. If you act like it's a green light for entertainment, you kill the moment. If you treat it like it's a trap, you lose momentum. The right response is subtle calm. And in control, you don't jump as opportunity. You acknowledged energy. You move with respect. You read her cues, her tone, her comfort. And when she feels that you're tuned in, not just rushing ahead, her walls come down naturally. Because in truth, it's not about the logistics at all. It's about how she feels around you. The logistics are just the excuse. What she's really saying is, I trust you now to create a space where something can happen if it feels right. She's not inviting you into her apartment. She's inviting you into a shared moment, one where her desire and dignity can coexist, so pay attention. The woman who wants Tobe close will rarely say it in plain words. She'll say it through circumstance, through timing, through seemingly innocent comments that point you toward privacy. And if you're a thick kind of man who can see those signs on dress band, with steady, grounded presence, you won't just find yourself alone with her. You'll find her truly open, relaxed, and ready to let things flow. Final thoughts and key takeaways when a woman is attracted to you, but doesn't want to come across as too forward. She often bridges the gap between emotional and physical intimacy in a very strategic way. She move closer, touch you, lightly lean in when she laughs. But it won't feel random. What she's really doing is using emotional justifications to make a physical closeness feel innocent. It's not about manipulation. It's about protection of her image, her feelings, and her sense of control. She might say something like, "You're warm," and then casually place her hand on your arm or shoulder. Or, "I'm such a cuddler," as she leans into you on the couch to the untrained ear. It sounds playful and harmless, but if you are paying attention, you'll realize those are her way of saying, "I want to." She seeks physical closeness, justifying touch through emotion. Feel you. I want to be close. But I want it to seem like it just happened naturally. She's giving herself and you permission to be close without the pressure of labels or intentions. What's powerful her is that she's not just seeking contact for the sake of it. She's satisfying the emotional safety of that contact. If you flinch, pull back, or suddenly get too serious or too sexual, the moment collapses. But if you stay grounded, if you welcome her nearness without acting shocked or overexcited, she relaxes more. Her physical gestures share quiet questions. You. Can I trust ya? Will you rush? Will you judge me, or will you just let it be what it is? And often, she frame her actions with emotional language. She might say, "I'll feel really comfortable around you." Or, "I don't know why, but you make me feel calm." These aren't just compliments. They're subtle rationalizations for why she's letting herself move closer. She's telling herself and you that this connection is based on something deeper than attraction. That makes her feel safe. That helps her keep her dignity, even if things do escalate. And it allows her to experience what she wants without feeling like she's stepping outside of her values. A lot of men miss this. They get so focused on trying to figure out whether she wants to be touched that they ignore the way she's already showing it. Or worse, they respond too aggressively and destroy the tension. She worked so carefully to build the right kind of man. Doesn't chase the moment he meets her. Where she's present, calm, and unbothered. He allows the closeness to unfold without labeling it, without rushing to conclusions. See a woman who starts seeking physical contact while attaching emotion along. 2. It isn't being confusing. She's actually being incredibly vulnerable. She's saying, "Women, I want to feel something real, and I want to feel like I'm not going to regret it." The emotional excuse, whether it's warmth, comfort, or trust, is her armor. It's her way of staying in control of Venus. She gives in to connection. So when she gets close and justifies it with emotion, don't dismiss it. Don't call her out or ask, "What does this mean?" She creates a safe narrative, protecting her dignity while opening up. Just you be there. Let your presence answer the question. She's not a skingalute. Let your energy show her she's *safe. desired, and respected all at once, women. Because when a woman seeks your touch but wraps it in emotion, it's not just about attraction, it's about protection. And if you can hold that closeness without trying to define it, she open up in a way that words could never achieve. There's something you need to understand about women when it comes to intimacy, especially when they genuinely want it. It's not always about how strong the desire is. It's about how safe they feel in expressing that desire without fear of judgment. A woman can be deeply attracted. 2. You can trust you and can still hesitate, not because of doubt, but because of how she thinks you might see her afterward. So, what does she do? She creates a narrative that allows her to surrender without shame. She builds a frame where she can say yes without feeling like she's tweaked. She might say, "I never do this." Even though something on her knows she wants to, she may whisper, "This is crazy," while pulling you closer, or "This isn't like me," even though in that moment it completes Helios. These aren't lies. They're layers, shields she puts in place to protect Haramage, to feel like she's still in control of the story. Even when desires leading the way, a woman knows the social rules. She knows how easily she can be labeled, misunderstood, or even used if she's too open too quickly. And so, when she's drawn to you deeply, physically, emotionally, she doesn't just need chemistry. She needs a narrative, something that allows her to explain her actions without guilt, not necessarily to you, but to herself. That's why you'll notice she often frames what's happening with disclaimers for traits. Women, I don't want you to think I'm that kind of girl. Promise you won't judge me. This just feels different. A loft that is code she's letting. You know, I want this woman. I don't want to regret it. She's giving herself a soft landing for the next morning. And the man who respects that without mocking it or pressing for clarity. That man earns your trust if you break that illusion, if you say, "Yeah, final insights." What it means to read her cues and respond right. I bet you do this all the time or make it. Or worse, act like her willingness makes her less valuable. You instantly pull her out of the moment she'll retreat. She might still go along with it, but something will shut down inside her because what she wanted was freedom without fear, desire without damage, and you made her feel like she had to pay for being vulnerable. But if you honor that space, if you let her story be whatever she needs it to be, in that moment, you give her something rare. You give her the space to be feminine, emotional, sportswomen, and free without needing to defend herself afterward. That's why so many women remember the man who didn't just take her body, but protected her dignity in the process. He's the one she trusts. Asterisk, he's the one she keeps thinking about. You see, this safe narrative isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's how women navigate a world that often punishes them for wanting what men are praised for. It's not about deception, it's about preservation, and the man who understands that doesn't need loud declarations. He doesn't need to push for confirmation. He just listens to the story, holds the space, and lets her feel safe in the fire of her own feelings. Because when a woman wants to give herself to you, she might not say it out loud, but she will build scene. She crafts the script. And if you can play your role with strength, subtlety, and care, you'll be the man. She gives the unscripted parts of herself to the ones no one else gets to see. So when a woman wants to be with you, truly wants to be close, she won't always say it plainly. She wraps her desire in subtle hints. Closing message. The man she remembers is the one who truly understands emotional language, teasing jokes, and carefully chosen ments. She'll protect her image evanescence. She leans into her feelings. And it's not because she's unsure. It's because he's smart. Because she understands the world she lives in and the labels she risks. But make no mistake, if you learn how to listen, how to feel, how to read her, not just her words, but her energy. You'll see the truth behind the act. She'll speak in implications. She'll keep the moment present, avoiding talk off the future. Test your count-throw-layered meanings. Arrange the environment to invite intimacy. Seek your touch under the excuse of comfort and create a narrative that shields her from shame. And through all of it, she's asking one simple thing. Can I trust you to meet me in this moment without making me feel small for wanting it? You, the man who understands Shat, who respects her signals without needing them, shouted, who stayed composed. Without pushing or freezing, that man becomes unforgettable. Not just because of what happens between these sheets, but because of how he made her feel before anything even began. And that feeling, that's what she remembers. That's what she craves. That's what sets Sue apart.